Let's go over these multiple choice questions about an enzyme pathway. In these three questions, there's going to be an easy, a medium, and a difficult one. Let's quickly review the concept of an enzyme pathway before we jump into the questions. Remember that an enzyme pathway is going to have a series of enzymes that are going to work together. For this example, you can see substrate A is going to react with enzyme 1 to become product B. Then this product will be the substrate of the next reaction, which will become a product and then a substrate of the next reaction. And then finally, our end product here is going to be the end result of this whole pathway. Let's go over the easy question. In a metabolic pathway, otherwise known as an enzymatic pathway, and we have to figure out which of these answers is the correct ending here. A, all reactions occur simultaneously in the same location. Well, they typically do occur around the same time. Simultaneously is, I don't know the greatest word here, but in the same location doesn't have to be the same location. This one really isn't that bad of an answer. I'm going to leave it, but I'm going to see if there's something better in the rest of the choices. B, the product of one reaction becomes the substrate of the next. I just went over that. That sounds like a better answer here. C, all enzymes in the pathway have identical active sites. No, because then they have the same active site, they'd pretty much be the same enzyme, and they would react with only one type of substrate. D, the same enzyme is used for all reactions. No, we just talked about how different enzymes are used in that pathway. And then E, energy is released at every stage of the pathway. Not necessarily, I mean it can, but not, for every pathway. Looking between our answers here, A is not a horrible answer, I just don't like it because of the wording. B is the better answer in this choice. Here's the medium question. Each arrow represents an enzyme catalyzed step. So these here are reactions where an enzyme is reacting with the substrate from the previous step. So this basically, again, is showing us an enzyme pathway like we talked about in the beginning. If the enzyme converting B to C is defective, so this enzyme doesn't work anymore, what will most likely happen? Well, since B can't be converted to C, it's going to start piling up in this location. C and D then will also decrease since they don't have any of B being converted into C. D is probably going to be used up in some other pathway, so it will also decrease as well. Let's look at our answers. A, the concentration of A will decrease and D will increase. Nope, we said kind of the exact opposite. We didn't really talk about A. A will actually also decrease, but D is not going to increase now. B, the concentration of B will increase, that sounds right, and C and D will decrease. That sounds like our answer. C, the concentration of C will increase. Nope, exact opposite, I can stop there. D, the reaction from A to B will speed up to compensate. Nope, that's not going to happen. And then E, the pathway will continue normally, skipping a reaction of B to C. No, that's why in this case, B is the best choice. Here's the difficult question. What is the primary difference between a circular pathway and a linear pathway? Remember that a circular pathway is going to go around in a circle, but each step again is going to be catalyzed by some reaction where the product is going to be the substrate of the next reaction. What happens here at the end is the last product is again going to be the substrate for a reaction. However, usually something else is coming into here. So these reactions are again going to just continue in this circle since we have the addition here of something from another reaction or something else. The regeneration of this molecule, though, there's some molecule here that's being regenerated. In a linear sequence, we have just one substrate becoming the product of the next reaction and so on and so forth, and it's not going to go around in a circle where we have like something here and then something here, and they're just different. So knowing that, A, circular pathways regenerate components, linear ones don't. That sounds like what we just talked about. B, a circular pathway only occurs in plants while linear pathways occur in animals. No, we see both in both animals and plants. C, circular pathways are catabolic while linear ones are anabolic. Nope, they are both. D, a linear pathway ends where it begins, a circular pathway does not. That sounds correct, but remember, the circular pathway is the one where it ends where it begins. The linear pathway does not. This one's backwards, so D is wrong. That's a tricky one. That D here is a tricky answer. E, circular pathways produce only one product while linear ones produce many. No, the right answer here is A.